Who was your best cellmate?
You know what? I'm actually shouting out all my cellmates right now, even if I argued with some of them sometimes.
It's normal, it happens.
We had some good times, but I'll shout out my latest padmate, Claire. Love you. You're amazing.
Big up yourself, Claire.
Yeah, too much fun. Too much love. What about you?
My best celly was my little brother. He's not little, but my younger brother. He was my best celly.
I forgot about this. That's crazy.
We used to play chess. We had chess games that used to last like 2 days.
Oh.
I'd be like, no, I'm not making my move yet. I've got to think about it. You know what I'm saying? Frustrating. Yeah, it's cold. Sometimes I used to flip the board.
I could not imagine being...
I don't know what happened here. It's just the pieces have gone all over the gaff. You know what I mean?
Sharing a pad with your brother.
Yeah, that was the...
Wow.
He was the best and the worst at the same time. Do you know what I mean? Big up yourself though, bro.
Hello and welcome back to Life After Prison, The Sit Down.
Yes, this is a podcast where we're joined by an incredible guest who shares their journey of life after prison. And today we're joined by boxer Danny Baker.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, good man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. Thanks for joining us. Okay, so Danny, you are clearly passionate about boxing. We're going straight in.
Right.
Can you talk to us about your passion?
So I love boxing. I've been boxing properly for about a year, which is quite late. Anyone that's involved in boxing probably started when I was about 6 and built up and become an athlete. But I started late. And since I started, I've just been the best possible version of me. I feel it's brought a lot of positives, good food, good routine, loads of sleep.
Discipline,
hardly no girls, which is, bittersweet.
Okay.
I miss them, but it's kept my head on. So, I've just ended up one of 2 boxers in the whole Europe that gets to fight geezers that were born geezers. So as a trans man, because they probably don't know I'm trans.
But here we go.
They know now.
Yeah.
So I've had the opportunity. Trans people don't get to fight in amateur clubs or to compete anywhere. So, I'm really lucky for that.
I mean, that must be a lot anyway to not be able to fight. Compete. So, how does that make you feel?
Now I feel happy. Now I just use my story to sort of open doors in other gyms, other organisations, to welcome other trans people.
Yeah.
Because even though I don't live by the LGBT thing, I support it 100%, but I just live as Danny. So, I like to use my story to open doors for other people, and people are listening, and people are boxing now, so it's good.
And what's your experience been so far?
It's been eventful. At first, I was winging it. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, I went to jail and it was for everything to do with violence and fighting. I was always scrapping and trying to be the big I am, and I got a bit lost in it. But it's just been brilliant. I think it's... I've had 4 fights. I won my first fight.
Come on.
Drew the second fight, lost the next 2. But it's not a thing. I feel like now, at first, I was gutted. I felt like I had to do the walk of shame and all that, and I'd better give up and throw my gloves away. And it just made me learn and keep it moving. Boxing's like, you don't develop overnight. It's a lifelong sport, and I'm in it now, and 100%. I ain't going nowhere. So we're going to get some wins this year.
I love that.
Yeah.
So who are you fighting?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I'm fighting men that were born men that have been boxing probably half their life. They're experienced fighters. I got thrown in at the deep end, and so my boxing club's Team Sparta 300.
Big 'em up.
Yeah. That's where the magic happens. It's like a magic cave. Like anyone that walks in there, we call it church. Like everyone's fighting something.
Yeah.
Are there other transgender people?
There's me that goes there predominantly, but because I've been on a few articles on like BBC Sport and things like that, me and my coach Steve Kipps, he's a professional coach, so again I'm lucky to have a pro boxing coach. So from the articles on BBC Sport and things that gone out and other podcasts, we've had like the parents of trans people contact us, like our kid's been kicked out of an amateur club, can we come down to you?
Oh, nice.
And I showed my coach and I was like, look, I said, there's so many trans kids that want to box, and it's not because I'm influencing them, they're already doing it, and then they come across me, which makes that even more beautiful for me, because I hate to feel like I'm putting things on people. That's not what I do. But if people reach out to me and say, look, we need a bit of help, my coach was like, Dan, he went, bring them down here, mate. Nice. He went, bring them down. He went, they can all come and train. And now every Saturday we have like a group of trans fighters that come down and spar with like ex-world champions, and they get amongst it. So yeah, it's brilliant. It's lovely.
You said quite a lot. Sorry, I'm just interested.
Yeah,
how many is quite a lot? Is it?
We have loads. So we've got. I won't say names because
of course.
But we've got one. I'll say areas. We've got one from Wolverhampton, one from Portsmouth, one from Essex, a couple from around London.
Okay,
this is great. Do you think it's growing as well?
Yeah, it's growing. And what we've actually done, I was meant to represent Britain in Sydney, Australia, in February just gone, in the world's first amateur competition for trans people.
Okay.
And all right, it was across the other side of the world, but I was so buzzing for it.
Yeah.
And me and my coach, we prepared me. I was a middleweight before fighting middleweights. So I was like 75 kg. I was a little lump. And he brought me down to a lightweight.
What's lightweight?
So I got brought down all the way to 61 kg.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I was like a stick. I looked like my sister.
I was about to say, I feel like that's similar to my weight here, Danny, you know?
Yeah, but I kept with the diet, I've got a pro nutritionist as well.
Okay.
That works with all the pros now, that you'll see them all fighting. But they brought me down, so done some scientific tests on me and stuff. And the way the nutritionist done it, he didn't test me as a geezer and he didn't test me as a woman. He done it in the middle.
Okay.
So all the intake, all the supplements and things like that, the creatine, it's all done by his estimate.
Is it all down to the last measurement? Like all?
Yeah,
okay,
everything's
proper.
done to the T. But at the minute, I'm not in fight shape now. I've had like a little month off just to rest.
Yeah.
I've still been training, but just not
the
been
diet.
so intense. Yeah, I've had a few chocolate bars.
So you should.
So then, like you just mentioned that you're involved in a bit of Pride boxing. You know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
To talk to us about more of that. Like, what's that entail?
Right. So the Australia thing, it didn't end up going through. My coach brought me down. We done everything we had to do, and then the guy who was running it in Australia, 4 months before we was going, said I need an amateur affiliation card. And I was like, this just defeats the whole object. Like, trans people can't fight at amateur. That was why we was coming the other side of the world. So again, my coach just said, Dan, he said, don't worry. He said, we'll sort something out. And he went and had a conversation with one of his associates that is big in the boxing world. And we managed to get the world's first LGBT boxing championship sanctioned by a governing body.
Sick.
So it's the first in the world.
Come on.
And it was meant to be going live this October. We got like 30 people register from all over Europe, and a few of them opted into next year's, but we didn't have enough bouts because of weight and experience.
Okay.
We didn't have enough bouts to put
Like
on each category.
Okay.
Like do a proper tournament.
Okay.
So what we've done, we just press pause. We said to everyone, keep registering and we'll see them next year.
Okay.
So does that mean, transgender people can compete with other transgender people, or?
This is the beauty again. So where I've obviously fought cis geezers that were born geezers, I have the experience and it can be done and you don't feel overpowered. I'm strong. So I've got that understanding. So we've actually, in the policy, we created ourselves, we created a safety policy, the rules, everything, and it's been checked by the PBA. That's the governing body. And we've actually given the trans men the option, because everyone has different characteristics and different preferences, but we've gave them the option if they want to fight trans people or they want to fight a man that was born a man.
I mean, how does it feel for you to be, represented as the UK, for the UK as a transgender boxer?
Yeah, it feels good. It feels good, especially as you know, starting from where we all started. We all started from in a cell.
Yeah.
From prison, from a dark place. And to be in this light place now, I feel like I'm just walking about with my sunglasses on. Everything's just shining. I just feel very positive and I feel loads of opportunities are coming my way. We've got a documentary being made about me and the young people that we've supported. I wanted to involve them as well and give them a bit of limelight. And it's not just about me. I'm not the only one in the world, but I'm very grateful.
I hear you, man.
So you mentioned that you started boxing quite late.
Yeah.
What made you start boxing?
I was depressed, to be honest with you. For a long time, I was very depressed after prison. It was like a transaction for me where I had to leave everyone I knew in Essex. That's where I grew up. I had to come away from everything I knew, you know, my daily routine, and meet new people. And
like moving away, and that was that to get away from like old habits and you know, the old lifestyle.
Yeah, I had to. It weren't even the people, it was me, if I'm honest. It was the people I was around I got too comfortable with. And you know what it's like when you get comfortable somewhere, you end up losing reality and just doing what you think you want to do. Yeah. And when you're a kid, you don't know what you want to do.
Yeah.
And whatever you're doing ain't the right thing anyway. Do you know? I got lost as a kid, but yeah.
Okay, cool. So boxing wasn't something that you actually found in prison. It was...
No, I didn't actually find it in prison. I'd always been a bit of a fighter, and one of the times I was in prison, the Olympics was on, and I did watch it, and it did trigger me, and I was like shadow boxing around my cell and that. And and that basically...
You got a little bit of room for that, to be fair.
Yeah, a little bit of room. It was like inside work.
Listen, it's enough to, innit? That's what I'm saying. It's enough for you to train them. Yeah.
Do your thing. And it did spark the brain, and I thought I could do this. And then when I come out, it sort of was something that I held on to. But initially it was just to get off my bed and out my house and stop being depressed. And there was a 8-week white collar charity fight, and it was raising money for underage homeless LGBT people in London, ACT Charity. I just went to do that for a laugh, ended up meeting Kelly Maloney.
Oh yeah.
Who used to be Frank Maloney, trained Lennox Lewis. Yeah. And everything else just went bang from there.
Well done for, you know, finding boxing for a dark place like that. Like it's great. Well done.
Thank you.
I read somewhere you was working with Kelly. Is that the case?
Yeah. Kelly's there. Yeah, Kelly's there. I actually had a phone call for her yesterday morning at 8:30. She's introduced me to a friend of hers, Jamie Rocky Johnson. Okay. Jamie's actually a female boxing pioneer who shared the ring with Muhammad Ali's daughter, Layla Ali, and Smoking Joe Fraser's daughter. Wow. Jamie's up for an International Women's Pioneering Award, who's flying out to Vegas this Monday. So I met Jamie through Kelly, and we're all like linked. So again, I feel really like in a good place. Yeah. And Kelly rang me yesterday and just said, "Look, do you want to come out to Portugal, do a bit of training?" She said, "I'm not going to mess about with you though, Dan." Like, and she won't either. Yeah. She said, "But if you feel like you're ready to do it and take it seriously, come out for a week." She said, "Bring the film crew. And at the end of the week, we'll have an assessment. I'll sit you down and say what I think to do with you next." Okay. And my coach is going to actually fly out at the end of the week and sit down with us. So, yeah.
Big things happening.
It's all very surreal.
So what prison were you in? And what was it like?
Everyone's going to get lost now that's looking at me. But I was started off in Holloway as a YO. I'd done a few stints in Holloway, and then I went Downview, and then I went Peterborough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so you say a few stints.
Oh, right. So I actually went to prison 13 times by the time I was 25, and I think 11 of the times was Holloway.
Wow.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. So
that's
Holloway was
the main proportion of it was in Holloway. Yeah. As a YO.
Yeah, as a YO, and then I come out of the YOs and got put up onto the 5s and with all the lifers and that. I was still a little bit wild, but when they put me up there, they chilled me out and mothered me.
What is it about being with long-termers or lifers that makes a difference?
Oh, it's just calmer, isn't it? You know what it's like on the YOs. Everyone's still a kid, and everyone is like who's who and who's the funniest and who's the hardest, and I don't know. It's just scatty on the YOs. And even though I was a bit scatty myself, I was very old-minded. I was quite wise before my time. And then going up there was just quite nice, quite chilled. They got like carpets and that in their cells. They got curtains.
It makes a difference, doesn't it?
Decent milk and that. And yeah.
What was what were the offences for the same kind of thing, or what was it?
Mine was just petty stuff like assault and battery. Not petty, obviously. I'm not glorifying it. None of it's great. Violence is violence, but
small sentences.
But small sentences, okay. Yeah. I think the biggest one I've done was GBH with intent, Section 18. I was looking at 6 years. I ended up Well, I explained the scenario when I was there and said, I owned up to it and said, I'd done it, but I didn't intentionally mean to cause the injury that I did. So they just give me 9 months, which was all right. And I only had to do half of that, but I think I got out 10 days and was back in.
Oh, wow.
So I was
they
that
were quite
kid.
short, but quite a few.
Yeah, I was lucky I didn't get IPP'd, to be honest.
Do you know how long you did in total?
I don't. I could though. I've got where I've had a DBS check before. It's like
how many pages?
Like an Argos catalogue.
Is it that long?
Yeah, it's like 4 pages.
Mad.
Yeah, 17.
Double-sided as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 17 convictions, I think.
Wow. I guess so. How did it feel being in Holloway, and where else did you say you were?
Downview. Peterborough.
Yeah. How did?
Yeah, it's 3 completely different jails. Holloway was obviously I was young. I was lost. It served its purpose for me. When I first went, I was thinking, oh God, like, where you going now, mate? And then when I got there, because I'm so boyish, I think I was quite lucky because the women weren't like jail. It was like, I don't know, everyone just loved me, man. Like, everyone was sending me love letters, and as soon as I got on the wing, I'm laughing. It's not funny. Jail's not the place of love, but it did. It gave me the love I needed and the confirmation that people are going to be all right with me being boyish. And because I hadn't found myself then, I didn't even know what a trans person was. I was just like a proper little lad.
Really? How old were you?
17, I think, when I first went. Yeah, nearly 18. So the girls I used to have long hair, and the girls used to all sit and comb on my hair for me. Okay. Or, do you want me to do your washing? And
do you feel like you were missing something outside to make you feel like that?
Yeah, I think my mum was such a little trooper, and she was single parent from when I was like 8, and she was struggling, mate. And I watched her struggle, but where I was such a little lad, I knew I was going without. Like, I didn't have all the other kids had, because she was going to work to pay the bills, but the money weren't even covering the bills, let alone, me and my sister used to scrap over food and that. And I can laugh because I've lived it, but it's my, obviously, coping mechanism. Yeah. But it was hard, and I didn't ever want to pester my mum and be like, mum, when she got through the door. I just thought, this lady is breaking. So it was making me contain a lot of emotion and seeing a lot and not being able to help. So it made me become very frustrated, and I didn't know how to help. And then that's when I went off the rails, I think. So much as I did get love, and I am very much loved by my mum, I needed it. I needed it directly, physically. Like, so yeah, big up all the girls in Holloway.
We spoke previously, and you mentioned something about you was almost excited to be going back to Holloway.
Yeah. I used to take myself there.
Yeah, why? Yeah.
Like I say, I got into things I shouldn't have been doing. I was in Essex. I started selling drugs. I was the younger one out of the group. There was like a big squad of us, and then really, I was getting exploited. But at the time, I thought, these people are looking after me. They care about me. And then it was only like as time went by, and obviously scenarios happened. I've had guns put to me. We've been raided, and I've took the blame. So I'm sitting there doing the colouring with the little kids, because I'm thinking, I'm not about this. I don't want to be like you lot. Like, I was that kid, them little kids. Do you get what I mean?
I hear you.
In a way, in a sense. And it just sort of grew me out of it. And prison, once I realised how easy it was for me to go, I just kept going. I thought, I just want to go back and see the girls. I just want my own room. I never had my mum had a breakdown basically and locked up the flat. I pushed her over the edge, but not literally, but I must have sent her over the edge. And I didn't know where she was for 1.5 years. So I was basically homeless. And when I was living with these people, obviously I didn't want to be around all the drug. Once I realised what it was doing to people, I'm seeing people like clucking, and I'm seeing people, in bad trouble for
forming
drugs.
Bad habits.
And I'm thinking, that's me running the back, giving it to them. Like, these are people's families and that. And that's what turned it around. And I just thought, no, I'm not doing it. And then I used to go out, have a little scrap, make as much noise as I possibly could, and wait for the police to come and get me. And because on paper I was like a little red alert, they just took me. And because I didn't have an address to be taken to, and I wouldn't be able to go probation because I'm not going to turn up at these appointments and stuff. I had no structure or no base. So I just was waving the flag, like, take me back. And then I had my bedroom. I had 3 meals a day. I had lovely girls around me. Like, not everyone in prison's bad.
That's true.
Yeah, like, it was just a weird... For everyone listening, don't think prison's like an hotel, because it's not. I was just very...
No, but it is. But it's a comparison to what your life was like at the time.
Yeah,
innit?
it saved me,
glorifying prison. We're just saying.
Yeah.
It was almost a safe haven.
It was a safe place for me. No one wanted to fight me. All the girls just wanted to be my girlfriend. Do you know what I mean? It's quite nice, and I've never had that. So when I come out, it was like, right, I don't need to be selling drugs. People do accept me, and I do look like a fella, and people do love me, and it all just become perfect again.